This is in Britain. It says, you can feel the entire room tense the second Lawrence Fox said he's about to show a drawing of Muhammad. The Oxford Union goes dead quiet. People start interrupting. Someone's already reaching for the rules. You can hear the intake of breath. They're not just uncomfortable, they're scared. And I think this video will also absolutely highlight why I don't trust a single fucking thing about Morocco being an ally.
52% compulsory halal. I could go on and on and on and on. But most important to me is the free speech of this. So let's get this out, shall we? 78% of British Muslims believe that no publication should publish pictures of Muhammad. An overwhelming majority. That rises to 87%. That's 9 out of every 10 Muslims that are walking the streets today in a country.
And that should absolutely horrify you. He's about to say in a country which has absolutely abandoned blasphemy laws. And he also goes on to say something about free speech, which we already know Britain doesn't have. But he makes a very good point regardless of his country not allowing free speech regardless. Because this is going to be happening in America. We are supposed to have free speech, unlike our European counterparts. That is what made us set apart from their countries. Our Constitution was supposed to give us certain rights that were not available to everyone else, everywhere else in the world. That is what made America a special little baby country. And even in our country, as you can see, our free speech laws are not enough to actually keep us safe and free. This is going to be happening here as well. We can make fun of the British for being a 1984 colony at this point, but it is coming for us as well. We must do what we can to stop it from happening.
Which absolutely abandoned blasphemy laws. Suspicion is not strong enough a word. The West should resist Islam in the strongest terms on free speech grounds alone.
Yes.
So here we are with this cartoon, right? And it's time to show that I will not submit. I will not adhere to the religious laws of far-off places. Now, my wife asked me not to show this for fear of repercussions in my family, but I told her that if I did not, then I had already submitted to Islam. So here we are.
The Constitution does not give you rights. It tells you that God has given those rights. Well, I hope that you can hold on to that sentiment as your neck is cut in the future. I apologize. That is a loser's mentality.
Is it not enough that half the team that invited you to this debate were Muslim women who wanted to hear out your expression and your arguments? Is it not enough that I, as a Muslim president, have invited you to this chamber to give your arguments? Is that not enough justification and evidence for you to believe that we do believe in free speech? I would not become the president of a free speech society if not for this.
Thank you.
Once again, all they do is lie to you. I would like to point out that this Muslim woman, not wearing a hijab, this Muslim woman is saying that she's the president of the Free Speech Society, and she is trying to prevent this man from showing something that should be entirely covered under free speech. This should not be a problem. She should not have interrupted. She should not be preventing him from showing an image of Prophet Muhammad. There is no reason he cannot show this in Britain, of all places. All she is doing is being subversive and lying, and she's also terrified of what repercussions might happen if he shows this image.
Right. All right. May I? Thank you very much. May I finish? Excuse me.
Point of order having been raised, I will hear the ex-librarian.
It's a long time since I've been in this chamber and knew the rules off by heart. But in the House of Commons, and we model ourselves on the House of Commons, props are not allowed. I wonder whether the rule on props is the same in the Oxford Union.
Why does that guy have like a naturally condescending tone in his voice? Like, that guy's voice is exactly what I do when I do the like, I am condescending to you because I believe that my opinion matters more. You know, like, what the fuck? That's a real tenor?
I thank the honourable gentleman for his point of order.
Excuse me, for one second.
One moment.
In the absence,
Mr. Fox, one moment, Mr. Fox.
Like, look at how terrified all of these people are. And rightfully so, because we see what happened with Charlie Hebdo when they even wrote the cartoon in the first place. Why would you want to live in fear like this constantly? Why would you subject yourselves to this kind of daily anxieties? Why would you not want to have a peaceful nation? Why would you invite people to your nation who seek to clamber and destroy the rights that you have built for yourself? And going back to in chat, you think what the poster meant is that the Anglo philosophy is that the state recognizes rights, while the Francophone version says it grants you rights, implying that you only have them on sufferance of the state. You must defend them. The Constitution is a document built by clearly greater men than what we have existing today. But if you do not defend the contents of that document, and if your enemies are using that document against you, that document holds nothing. You have no rights. You must defend what you wish to have as rights. And it's like, that's why I take umbrage with the, like, every man has God-granted rights. No, they don't. That is why all of our countries are so fucking different. That document might say that they are God-granted rights, and I can understand the sentiment behind it, but if you are not willing to fight for them, you will be subjugated. Where are your God-given rights then? What good are they if they are used against you to kill you? They are not God-given, you must fight for them. The rights exist whether a government recognizes them or not. Oh my God, that's like a child mentality, man. What are you saying? You get the right by God and then you have to fight to keep it. It's like, if the rights of the Constitution were conferred to us by God, right? If they were conferred to us by God, the constitutional rights, everyone is created equal. Everyone has the same rights under the Constitution. Why is the Constitution only valid in America? Why is someone in Nigeria not given the same supposed God-granted rights that we have in America? The God-given rights are only for Americans. The Bible and the Second Amendment both say we must defend our rights and people. Yes, exactly. I hate to tell me this, honorable chatters, but every human right or God-given right is de facto only given to you by the mercy of the government. They can and will take them away as they please. Force is the ultimate authority from which all others derive from. Yes. Chat saying they aren't up for debate, as if they weren't the product of debate and intellectual rigor. Chat does not understand this level of philosophy. I mean, it can be hard to have a back and forth about this level of philosophy in this kind of, like, environment as well. Which is why I'm trying to read things a bit slower to digest them. A God-given only works when all parties concerned believe in the same God. Even if all parties believed in the same God, that doesn't prevent people from, again, like, abusing your principles. You think what we're seeing here in chat is some effects of communist infiltration of the church via liberation theology of the 70s. Fortunately, you know people within the church who are starting to wake up, but more needs to be done to root it out. The Bible makes it clear in 1 Timothy 5:8 that refusing to defend your lands and people is a sin worse than infidelity and a denial of faith. Defending your rights from invaders is not only necessary, but also commanded by God. I like what you said. And I think that's kind of like the mentality that probably like led to the Crusades, right? Because they were like, we need to defend what we have built in God's image. You should point out that you don't disagree with the idea of a God-given right. You're just arguing de facto over de jure. Mostly, you're saying that the government is run by scum and they will always violate your rights if they can get away with it. Of course, you need to fight for your rights. Men must recognize evil, and evil is the same whether in America or in Europe. It's up to each of us to recognize and fight evil, and taking a man's rights is 100% evil. God-given just means a higher power than man? Yeah? I didn't think we were disputing that. Debate is always welcome. Do continue. You think part of this is a terminology thing? The point of God-given rights is that they're intrinsic and exist whether the state recognizes them or not. That's why you call them intrinsic rights. Like, you have the right to think and say what you want. The state can't truly restrict that absolutely, and attempting to do so in most cases is immoral. I mean, if I take like that point, right? Imagine no society. You're just a person in the middle of a field. There's nothing there. So you essentially have like whatever rights that you want because you're governing over yourself. You can do pretty much anything. You are a lawless entity that makes up your own rules and your own rights. I guess it would depend on what God you believe in, that you might feel like those rights are given to you by that higher power. And then that would also make sense with like, then the government only has the power to take them away because as soon as a governing body comes in, that's when they start imposing like regulations and possibly oppression upon the person who is in the field. You're agnostic, so you prefer natural rights. We should just have them by nature of existing. The right to control your own person, private property rights, etc. A right doesn't make something inviolable. It just makes said violation immoral. I mean, even the entire concept of property is of human making, right? So the concept and the right to private property would not be God-given. It would be conferred by man because it is a concept of man, is it not? John Locke's philosophy on natural rights played a huge role in the founders' philosophy. A bunch of this debate is terminology being misunderstood. I mean, that's very possible, both by chatters and myself. The de jure God-given right is what gives you the cause for war to defend your rights from the de facto state-given rights. The important thing here isn't the origin of our rights. What's important is that they're being eroded and we need to stand up and defend them. We can argue about their origin once they're no longer under threat. I mean, yeah, that's also the more pertinent conversation to be having. Arguing semantics can be fun and talking about the origins of such can be fun, but it doesn't really help us get out of our current predicament. And I think that's probably why I take so much umbrage when people are just like, Kirsche, they're not able to be usurped their God-given rights. And it's like, well, they're being usurped right now. People are trying to kill you using that against you. So clearly, whether it's God-given or not, you gotta fucking do something about it. You think of it like the argument of morality coming from God. Without that as the ultimate authority, then the question of morality falls to subjective slap fighting. Saying rights come from God means I'm not going to argue it, respect my rights, or be destroyed. I wish that was the mentality we could take, right? Like, if we were saying, like, this is a God-given right, if you try to take it, we will kill you. Yeah, that would have a lot more fucking weight behind it. But when it's like, this is a God-given right, and I'm going to do absolutely nothing as you slowly pick it away and chip away and take away all the right, and I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to say, well, you shouldn't do that, that's bad, but then do nothing to defend my supposed God-given right, then is it really a God-given right if you're not going to do anything about it?
If a man really wants to protect what's his, he has to do it for himself.
If atheists were right and we're all fucks, we could try to do the best without God. I think that it is impossible to have a society built on atheists or agnostics. I think that people have the luxury to be atheist or agnostic because we live in societies built by Christian values, right? If I lived in an Islamic society and I wanted to be agnostic, I would be killed. Like, I have the luxury of being able to question things because of the society that I live in. So I also think that to build a functioning society, Christian values are the best way to go about that. Maybe that's because I have grown up in Christian values and that is the bubble that I have perceived, even if I do not necessarily believe that the Christian God is potentially real. I still think that the values at their core are a good message. That is also why I would send my child to a private Christian or Catholic academy over a public school.
The ex-president is also raising a point of order, I think.
Just so it's helpful to inform the ex-member and others, at least my 4 years involved in society, that ban was not extended.
Nice bust.
Israel and Palestine flag.
Thank you. So, right. I just want to wrap this up.
I am going to rule on the point of order. There is no bar in the...
These guys just do not want to let him speak. They are absolutely terrified of what is in that folder marked Charlie Hebdo.
...of the House against the use of props. However, I would encourage Mr. Fox to make the point and move on.
I was until points of order. So it is in that spirit that I will not submit that I show you this as an Englishman who believes in free speech.
That's not Mohammed. That's some British guy. That's a cartoon British man. It's very weird how they all laughed at that when the room was incredibly tense and full of fear a second before.
Not submit. I will not bow down. Right. So, I think which rather proves the point of point I was trying to make.
It does.
That in this envelope lived your fear and your fear of Islam and what Islam will do to you that when you upset its very oversensitive sky wizard. And what lived in this room is a healthy and brilliant and noble British tradition of suspicion of Islam. I encourage you to pass the motion. Thank you very much.
And I can understand some people being like, well, he's cowardly for not showing it, because that was my like initial thought as well. I was like, well, fuck. That's kind of cowardly that he didn't actually whip it out like he was pretending he was going to this entire time. But I think that it proves his point very fucking well. Because it showed the difference in attitude between when everyone was terrified that he might offend someone who is Muslim versus when it wasn't Muhammad and it was just some random British guy. And everyone was like allowed to be normal and clap and laugh at the funny picture, right? You don't believe it's cowardly? It's a masterful debate tactic because everyone that was shitting themselves was suddenly on his side. Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, that was certainly my initial thought. I was like, wow, what a coward. But then I was like, well, actually, you know, it shows his point, I think, more illustratively than if it had been the portrait of Muhammad inside that envelope. Because it wouldn't have shown the difference in demeanor and the difference of, like, the air of the room and how people were reacting to him if it had been the actual picture. And also, you know, he probably also doesn't want his family to be murdered, so. We have more stuff coming out of Spain because, of course, as we all predicted, as anyone with half a brain cell could tell, Spain was obviously lying about everyone having gone home. 60,000 men invaded our border. Whoops-a-daisy, that's okay. We deported all of them in under 24 hours. We're not lying at all. And this says, Moroccan government is using its own population in hybrid warfare against Spain during mass invasion of the Spanish enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla. Now that the operation is wound down, Moroccan nationals attempting to return home are being attacked and pelted with stones by Moroccan border guards because they no longer want to remain in Spain and continue putting pressure on the Spanish government. This footage shows Moroccan border guards throwing stones at Moroccan nationals who are simply trying to return to their own country after being used by the Moroccan regime. That seems rational. Why? For what purpose? Someone said it's spreading fake news. And it says it couldn't be Spanish guards. The uniform is from Moroccan guards. So, you know, fucking jihadist liars, stop lying. True and fucking real. This is the original video. There were 3 attempts to kill this Moroccan citizen by his country's police, and then they beat him with batons. What? The fuck is this music? Why does he sound like Patrick Star? What did he just say? Leedle, 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 lee. Fucking Patrick Star. Morocco pardoned a fuck ton of people right before this invasion, by the way. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. So it's like, I'm glad that people who are trying to say, like, nuh-uh, are getting community noted with, like, yeah, stop fucking lying, retard. Thank you, community notes. Several popular ASMR YouTube channels have been removed after YouTube said they violated its sexual content policies. Some of the affected creators had hundreds of thousands of subscribers and relied on their channels for a living. At first, YouTube said the channels were removed for posting sexually gratifying content. Later, the company clarified that the ASMR itself was not the issue. Instead, it said some creators linked to external websites containing content that violated YouTube's nudity and sexual content policies. Now, it's been really funny for me to see all of these YouTubers being like, oh my god, I was like totally wrongfully banned on YouTube, and oh my god, this is like such an outrage and this needs to be corrected immediately. If you rely on content creation for your living, you should probably take some steps to ensure that you're abiding by the TOS. And I've been playing a fun game where every time I've seen one of these dumb retards complaining about getting their YouTube channel banned, I go to their Twitter profile and I click on their card link or whatever other link aggregator they use to put all of their platforms in one place. Every fucking time, they have an OnlyFans, they have a Fansly, they have both, they have some other kind of like adult content website, and then I click on it and it is adult content. There they are, whole ass nude, doing like pornographic things. And it's just like, you gotta be some kind of fucking retard to be crying and complaining, and doubly so for the people who are like, oh my god, baby grill, I'm so sorry, YouTube treating you so badly, oh my god, like this is so unfair. Why are you allowing these women to pretend to be retarded? They know what they're doing. They know that they're peddling pornography in their YouTube bios. They're pretending they don't know why they got banned so that more people defend them and then they can keep peddling their porn in places it doesn't belong. Like, come the fuck on. What do you mean I can't expose minors to my porn? It's like, maybe they thought that it was fine because Twitch hasn't done anything about all the whores linking their OnlyFans or Fansly in their Twitch bios, despite that being against TOS, because Dan Clancy is fucking Gooner plot prime, so he does, like, nothing happens to these people. But YouTube starts cracking down on it and suddenly, oh no, I have no idea why you do this. I don't have pornographic content on YouTube. Yeah, but you link to it. You link to it! It's weird that off-site behavior gets a ban. Are you like actually lacking in brain cell capacity? Non-offensively, because if you are, I don't want to like berate you. I'm not gonna actually call someone with a mental deficiency retarded. That's just rude. Yeah, so there is no problem. I'm gonna try and spell this out like really slowly so that like someone with your intellectual capacity can hopefully like understand. In the banning of them, I mean? Okay. All right. Okay. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what the fuck? Yes, there's no problem in banning them because they did violate TOS by linking their porn in their description. That was the whole thing that I was getting at. At least 3 times YouTube has shown a cropped AI anime bestiality ads on mobile. It's like they care but don't at the same time. And it's like, again, when we go back to when YouTube had a meta of a ton of YouTubers using cropped porn for their thumbnails, that's probably also a bad thing too, right? Maybe don't do that. But if everyone is doing it and no one is getting punished for it, everyone starts to think, hey, this is a normal thing that's fine to do. It's the same with linking porn in the description. It went unpunished for who knows how fucking long. And so everyone was like, oh, this must just be fine to do. It says it's against TOS, but nothing happens to anyone, so I might as well just do it. You legit get softcore porn ads on YouTube. It's so rampant, it's wild. Which is, again, crazy that you can get softcore porn ads on YouTube, and yet some channels, they won't play ads on them. So if the adult channels are precluded from allowing ads to be run on them, and yet YouTube is running pornographic ads, who is getting served those pornographic ads using that logic trail? Have people already forgotten about the YouTube adpocalypse? And I even brought up when I played like some like retard mobile game, I don't know how many months ago, it had like ads in it. It wasn't the Digimon game recently. It was like a different one I just downloaded on a whim and I was like, oh, what the fuck? But like it was literal unironic pornographic ads in this game. And I was like, that's fucking crazy that like when I do my dailies and I have to watch an advertisement, it's a pornographic one. What is happening? Not sure if they still have it, but there used to be channels on YouTube that is naked yoga. Yeah, I remember that too. It takes like so fucking long for these platforms to get rid of that kind of shit that sometimes people end up thinking, oh, this must be okay to do. You know someone who got banned who only had a link to Twitter, and the Twitter had a link tree to other accounts. Does that count? Is there a limit to how many links YouTube has to jump through before they can ban you for content? Honest autistic question. If someone didn't have like their link tree in their YouTube bio, then it shouldn't have been an issue, right? But when you have an overwhelming amount of people who get their accounts banned and they have their link tree in their bio that then linked to their adult content, I'm not going to believe someone when they say, well, I have adult content in my link tree, but my link tree wasn't in my YouTube description. It's like, well, those are the people getting banned, so why would I believe that you didn't? Just based on pattern recognition. You understand the whores getting banned, but until they fix their literal porn ads, it's also YouTube's fault? Yes. Yes, YouTube creates this kind of, it must be acceptable because they don't enforce it, which is why if you have a rule, you should enforce it, and you should enforce it evenly, right? A big problem people have with Twitch's moderation is they do not evenly enforce the rules. Some whores are more equal than other whores. And it's just like, if you're going to moderate a specific kind of content, it should be for everyone that you're moderating. Dick or dildo YouTube videos were approved for kids for a long time. I'm sorry, what? 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 Were those the videos of people having things jammed up their ass and they had to guess what it was? What? What? YouTube has been so consistently shit at these things that you disbelieve YouTube by default. Normally I would disbelieve YouTube by default, but it's like their TOS is that you cannot link to porn off platform. If you are a person who does porn and you link to your porn in your YouTube description, do not be surprised when they decide, hey, we're gonna take down your channel. The gay guys would just put up a blanket so you could see their face reaction to being sodomized, and that was the game. This genre was deemed safe for children. I think that's worse than any links in bio or any cropped thumbnail. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? There's a channel that did dick or dildo, and it was two gay men, and one had to guess if it was a dick or a dildo. It was considered by YouTube ad safe for kids and could be found on YouTube Kids for a while. There is so much I don't know about YouTube. What the fuck? What the fuck? Probably considered it a sex ed because gay. Do you also remember the one gay fetish song where at the end the guy shits on another and the turd lands next to his head? What the fuck are you talking about? No! What? Haven't we already covered dick or dildo? No, this is the first I'm hearing of that. I remember Elsagate, right? I remember the Elsa and Spider-Man shit. I remember that. I don't remember any of this shit. First world problems here. Twitch's former chief product officer says the discovery and ads teams were once at war over feed impressions, solved, and that Twitch streams with fewer than 1,000 viewers are dead weight since entertainment economics run on ad rates. Chat, we're dead weight. I think the most fun part of this are all the like small streamers literally having massive fucking fits in the comment section, because it's like they're not exactly wrong. Like I'm sorry to say, like, yeah, the large streamers are the ones who are bringing in the massive amounts of ad revenue, which is why when Twitch decided to reduce the standards needed to attain both affiliate and partner and rolled out ads for everyone, in which case everyone could get emotes even without affiliate, I was like, but why? Because like this isn't going to actually help any of your monetization. Why would you do this? And it also like kind of hampers the streamer mindset of like, before you had these goals that you could actually strive to reach, but making it easier is just like, okay, what are you striving to reach now? What are you striving to reach? The 1% pays for the 80% yet again. It's just like, if you really don't want ads, which I don't take streamers complaining about ads seriously anymore, because you can do something about it. If you genuinely, right, if you genuinely do not want ads on your Twitch channel, you can do that. You can do that the same way I did. I don't get ads. People in my chat have said that they haven't even had pre-roll ads in ages. You need to just put the correct flags on your channel so they do not serve your channel ads. And if you're not doing that, but you're complaining about, oh, there's nothing I can do about ads, Twitch is serving them to you, my dear viewers, they're a fucking liar. They're a fucking liar at this point.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
And it's just like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks when it's said like so plainly in this manner, right? Like it feels like they're just saying, you know, you're pretty much worthless. But it's like you don't provide worth simply by existing to a company. Company does not give a shit about you. If you've thought that company gives a shit because they do performative virtue signaling, you're retarded. They don't care. So if a company's going to have any ounce of, and I'm going to put care in huge fucking quotes, you have to be providing something for company. And it's far and away, like back in, I want to say it was 2019, 2020, when I was thinking about like the amount of money you'd have to make as a streamer in order to make this full time. And back in like 2019, 2020, we didn't have like real multi-streaming, right? It wasn't like a huge integration thing like it is now. And so people were basically dedicated to one platform or another. And maybe they'd upload like videos to YouTube while streaming on Twitch or whatever, but essentially they were still known from one platform. And you needed on Twitch in the 2019-2020 era to be a full-time streamer to make it as like, I can sustain myself with this and only this as an income, The threshold was 500 subscribers, right? So this isn't even taking into account people using like Stream Elements or Streamlabs for donations. This was just through Twitch. 500 subscribers was like the bare minimum that you needed to make streaming a full-time job. And having 500 subscribers bare minimum put you well above that 1,000 viewership threshold. For the most part. Obviously, there's going to be outliers where they have like an insane CCV for their follower count, or they have like an insane dedicated community, even though they're a smaller channel. But roughly, if you're getting 500 subscribers, you were over 1,000 viewers. That's a lot. Yeah, 500 regular subscribers every month is a lot. And that's what it was years ago. I have no idea how many like subscribers you would need bare minimum base threshold nowadays in order to make streaming a full-time thing. And I think it would be a lot harder to figure out that with one metric, because streaming has become a lot more multi-platform than it used to be. So now, instead of just relying on Twitch and then advertising from like your videos on YouTube, you have like your Twitch income from subscribers and bits, you have your Stream Elements or Streamlabs direct tips, you have your super chats, and you have your ad revenue on YouTube, you have subs, and you have like Kick bits and stuff on Kick now, you have people who are streaming on Rumble. I don't know exactly what their monetization is like, but you have all of this stuff spread out through so many other platforms that I think it would be much more difficult now to get like a base bare minimum threshold for like what you need to be a full-time streamer and not need income from any other source. And Patreons as well. I think the minimum now is like 100 subs. I mean, it would be really hard, right? Because someone with 100 subs isn't going to sustain you, but that person with 100 subs might have like super giga oil barons where through their Stream Elements link, they're getting like thousands of dollars a month in direct donos, right? So that person getting 100 subs has immense income from a different source. The truth is that Twitch has been stagnant and complacent for too long, so people diffused across other platforms when like for 10 years they practically had a monopoly. Yeah, like if you just looked at my Twitch statistics, you would think that I'm essentially like stagnant as a streamer, because the majority of my growth now comes from YouTube, and I'm shadow banned essentially on every single platform except for Kick. Like you can't find me in the algorithm. People who like are subscribed to me, they have to manually go to my channel. Sometimes on Twitch, when you try to look up my channel, you can't even find it. You have to use a direct link. You also have a tier 1, 2, 3, so that also makes it so you need less subs. That's also true. Back in the day, it was only like certain streamers who had specific contracts with Twitch who would get a better like split than 50-50. And then Twitch rolled out the tiered thing to everyone. So now, if you get like a certain amount of subscribers per month, you get that 70-30 split instead of a 50-50 split. Undead, thank you. Which tags and toggles do I turn on to not have ads? Asking to harass your small streamer friends in the future. So I keep saying tags, but Twitch has content classification and tags. So when I'm talking about getting rid of ads on your channel, it's specifically the content classification. I don't know if you need all three of these or if a combination of two of them will get rid of all of your ads. But the content classification tags I have on my stream that make my stream have 0 ads are politics and sensitive social issues, significant profanity or vulgarity, and then sexual themes. Having those 3 tags has completely removed advertisements from my channel on Twitch. Bigfoot sighting in southern New England deemed credible. A new report is fueling speculation that a Bigfoot may be roaming the woods of southern New England, according to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. An eyewitness recently reported seeing the legendary creature in Potchwang State Forest in Volunton, Connecticut, in the southeastern part of the state. The organization, which collects and documents alleged Bigfoot encounters across North America, said the witness provided such a detailed account that the researchers deemed the report credible. The witness is credible. He's not lying about what he saw. I could tell from the conversation. So there's not even a picture. You just believe what the guy says. There ain't no way you're a researcher. BFRO investigator Matt Moneymaker, the Bigfoot researcher. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If a writer put this on the desk of a Hollywood producer, he would tell him to change the fucking name. That's too on the nose, dude.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
The reported sighting has sparked curiosity among residents, though not everyone is convinced the elusive creature is actually out there. Every once in a while, if it's really quiet and still, you'll hear a branch snap in the distance, one local resident said. It makes you wonder what's walking around back there. You live in Connecticut. It could be like a fisher cat, or a bobcat, or a wolf. What do you mean you wonder what's snapping twigs in your woods? Others were more skeptical, suggesting a more ordinary explanation. It's probably a guy running around in a costume, another resident joked. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is described as a large ape-like creature said to inhabit remote forests. While stories and sightings have persisted for decades, there's no scientific evidence proving the creature exists. Still, reports continue to emerge from wooded regions across the country, including New England, where dense forests and rural landscapes provide the backdrop for new eyewitness accounts. Connecticut has had 29 reported Bigfoot sightings over the year, while Massachusetts has recorded even more, with 39 alleged sightings according to BFRO data. The most recent report in Massachusetts was submitted in May. You know what I think is really funny? There are so many people in the New England region that have like the giant black Sasquatch silhouette in their yards, or like up against a barn or a garage. Bigfoot doesn't have anything you haven't seen before. Brock Sampson. Bigfoot is something I haven't seen before. True. True and real. In Mass, most of the Bigfoot sightings are probably gay bears cruising. Probably, man. In Kirsche's hometown, or homeland, they have a different cryptid called the Jersey Devil. What the fuck? I'm not from Jersey! Multiple people killed in a shooting at an Idaho In-N-Out restaurant. Suspect is dead. Police confirmed the suspected gunman is also dead, but have not yet released an exact death toll or motive. Multiple people were killed in a shooting at an In-N-Out burger restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho on Saturday. Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks said multiple law enforcement agencies responded to what he described as a very chaotic active shooter scene. Hicks confirmed there were multiple fatalities, including the suspected gunman, but said authorities were still working to notify victims' next of kin before releasing an exact death toll. He added that several other people were being treated for injuries at a local hospital. What I can tell you at this time is that we've had a shooting at the In-N-Out location that had resulted in fatalities. Hicks said during a news conference. We already read that part. Authorities have not released the suspect shooter's identity or determined a motive. We believe that the threat to the community is over. The suspected shooter in this incident is deceased. He was nearby on scene and we're working to ascertain his identity and the motivations behind that. Hicks said investigators are interviewing potential witnesses who were at or near the restaurant when the shooting occurred. We have literally hundreds of people that were in some way, shape, or form in the area of this restaurant at the time that are being interviewed right now. The FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are assisting with the investigation. Today has been a very hard day here in Twin Falls, a tragic day. Police officers responded to reports of an active shooter at about 2:30 p.m. Our department is responding to an active shooter incident in the area of the In-N-Out. We're asking all residents and visitors to avoid the area so officers and first responders can work safely. Police said the area around the In-N-Out Burger restaurant and the Twin Falls Visitor Center will remain closed Saturday evening as investigators continue processing the scene. Idaho Governor Brad Little urged residents to keep the community in their prayers as law enforcement responded. Idahoans, join me in keeping the Twin Falls community in your prayers as law enforcement and first responders respond to an active shooter situation near In-N-Out. Please avoid the area and follow directions from law enforcement as they work to keep everyone safe. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador said that he was monitoring the situation. The Labrador is monitoring. Praying for everyone in the Twin Falls area as first responders continue searching for the suspect near In-N-Out. Labrador wrote on X before police confirmed the suspected gunman was dead. Twin Falls Police, Idaho State Police, and fire and paramedic crews remain on scene, working to secure the area. He added, if you're in the area, please listen to local authorities and stay away from the In-N-Out and the surrounding streets so first responders can do their job. Name of the man who brought the tragic shooting in Twin Falls to an end today was a man by the name of Jordan Salinas. This is somebody saying, is your brother Jordan okay? Send him my love. He's a hero. I pray for him. I'm a stranger, but the internet's a crazy place. And this Nikki person responded, he's okay as far as I know. He was at the station being interviewed last I heard. Thank you so much. I'll let him know. That's my brother. He's not one of the active shooters, just one trying to help everyone. He was also helping transport the injured to ambulances. Guy in a cowboy hat with a suppressed handgun showed up to kill an active shooter. I mean, I guess that could be a ponytail, but it looks like the brim of the hat. That looks like a cowboy hat. Allegedly, he said he was a former paramedic from what you heard. This guy here posted some pretty interesting information. This guy has had a crazy fucking character arc. You can see the poof of hair. Here's his YouTube channel. I believe it's been confirmed it's him. Dude just concealed carries a suppressed FN 57. His name is Chad Williams? Why is Chad shooting up an In-N-Out? Was Stacy not good enough for you? Chad Williams, 24, is the man who police say opened fire in and around the Twin Falls In-N-Out restaurant. In and around the In-N-Out, eh? His identity was released by Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks in a press conference on Sunday afternoon. Hicks said Williams was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but the chief did not share information on a possible motive for the crime. Police also confirmed that 3 people were killed and 7? That's a lot, holy fuck. 7 others were injured in the stabbing. Bless that fucking cowboy, man. That is a huge number for how little time like this took. So, bless that cowboy for distracting the dude. The chief did not share information on possible motive. Police also confirmed that 3 people were killed and 7 others were injured in the shooting. Of the injured, Hicks said 2 were treated and released, 3 remain hospitalized in stable condition, and 2 more are in critical condition. The police chief did not identify any of the victims by name. North Star Taxi has identified an employee as one of the people injured in Saturday's shooting. Our driver, Terry Dudley, was the victim of a mass shooting today. He is alive, but he has a very long road ahead of him, reads a social media post from the company. The short post also states the company will be closed for a couple of days, presumably due to its close connection to the shooting, and asked the public to keep Dudley in their prayers. Dudley, a taxi driver, was apparently charging his Tesla when he was shot. A GoFundMe page shared by North Star Taxi said Dudley was shot twice in the back while charging the vehicle. In a later post, North Star Taxi said Dudley was flown to a Boise hospital by medical helicopter and taken into surgery. The post says he was in stable condition as of early Sunday, but is not out of the dark yet. Man, he looks like such a nice guy. He looks like he would make incredible fucking smoked ribs and he would just invite you over on a Sunday afternoon to chill, dude. He looks like a sweet old uncle, man. Dudley is a widower. Oh no, Dudley! And a dedicated father of 4 children. Holy fuck! According to the GoFundMe page created by a friend, Terry has dedicated his life to raising his 3 sons and daughter with love, strength, and unwavering devotion, the webpage states. They are his world. The fundraiser describes Dudley as the kind of man who quietly puts others before himself, who works hard, loves deeply, and never hesitates to lend a helping hand. The organizer says they hope to raise money to help Dudley and other victims of the shooting through this hard time. This guy is an American. Yeah, this is an American heartland guy, dude. Meanwhile, Twin Falls police plan to hold a press conference at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, I think that is, to update the media on their investigation. FBI has established a digital media tip line for the public to submit images and videos related to the shooting. Anyone with photos, videos, dash cam footage, or other relevant media is asked to submit the files, wrote on Facebook. One of the people killed in Saturday's shooting was an employee of the In-N-Out. The company confirmed the employee's death in a statement released on social media Saturday. We lost one of our beautiful associates last night. She was taking care of our most important asset, our customers, and her life was taken by a disgusting human who doesn't value the lives of others or his own, reads a statement from Lindsay Snyder, owner and president of In-N-Out Burger. Snyder went on to say that the gunman ended his life shortly after he took the precious lives of our associate and customers. As of Sunday morning, police had not confirmed how the shooter died nor how many people he killed. So you're saying that the In-N-Out president person released information before the police on accident? Whoops. The company statement ends with a plea for people to turn to God to seek comfort and strength for those who are hurting. Our attorneys tell us we need to put this disclaimer in stories involving fundraisers. East Idaho News does not assure that the money deposited to the account will be applied for the benefit of the personas named as beneficiaries. Interesting disclaimer, man. Unfortunate that we need stuff like that. Jew-hating Cornell student begging for cash online after parents kick him out of their house. I want to remind people, this is the guy who said that he didn't want to work for a Jewish person. Like that is the sentence that he said. If we had freedom of association, you could be like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. I don't know why you'd feel that way. Fuck you, buddy. And then that would be it. That would be over. There wouldn't be like a cabal of people trying to ruin this guy's life because he was like, yeah, I just don't want to work for like a Jewish boss, man. What the fuck? What the fuck? Cornell University student who declared he's not interested in working for a Jew got tossed from his parents' $1.75 million home in Virginia and is now sniveling online for cash. Austin Franco, who went viral for declining a job interview at NYC startup Verif ID for anti-Semitic reasons. Brother, I guarantee you there are people who not only say, I'm not interested in working for a white boss, but also the fact that the boss is white supremacy. This is just an insane article to be reading. Took to X on Wednesday declaring my parents are kicking me out. The hater did get some good news the next day as Cornell revealed to the Post that unlike his disappointed parents, Alexander and Diana, the liberal upstate college won't kick him to the curb. The rising junior created a Give, Send, Go campaign, which has already amassed more than $8,000 from twisted supporters, on top of the roughly $25,000 raised in a separate fundraiser. I will be kicked out of my home on August 1st. Any support you can provide would be greatly appreciated, as would any advice, the 19-year-old whined. Bro, whoever wrote this article is fucked. The way they word things is so scummy. It is. It's incredibly scummy. That's just like, you can be like, well, that's kind of fucked up that he said that directly to the person, but I feel like it shouldn't matter. I feel like if we lived in a rational society where we had actual freedom of association, people could just be like, yeah, I don't really want to work for a white boss. I don't really want to work with a black boss. I don't really want to hire Kazakhstani people, right? Like, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. It's like, that would be what freedom of association is. This is insanity.
Wrong answer. Try again. What? Look, you want to work in this town or don't you?
You do not hate journos enough. So wait, is this guy a lefty or a right-winger? Because at this point you don't know. I have no idea either. I have no idea what his politics are. All I know is that there's been like a cabal of people trying to like completely destroy this kid's life, making sure he doesn't get hired literally anywhere else in any industry forever because of one thing he said. I'm pretty sure the only reason he said anything is because they kept blowing up his inbox. Yeah, you know? I have reiterated that my parents do not share my views, and it seems they no longer wish to provide me with a home to live in. I know the road ahead will be difficult, but this is the path I chose. This is like just completely fucking vile. Like, we've seen all of the kids like reporting their parents to the government for wrongthink. But like, when your parents are even like, oh, I gotta save my own ass because you said something that people are upset with, that is so fucked up. That is so incredibly fucked up. Franco has painted himself as a martyr. I mean, well, he is. It's not painting him, he literally is. I do not regret anything I've done. If I were to die today, I would at least know that I did so, believing in myself. Thank you, and may God be with you. He is a person of privilege. What kind of fucking statement is this? What does this even fucking matter? This is just a hit piece. The 6,300 square foot Franco family home located in a suburb 30 miles northwest of DC has 5 bedrooms and 5.5 bathrooms. And also, I think what I love about this, right, is like these fucking duplicitous, disgusting cretins who call themselves journalists, they went to this kid's parents to get a disavowal statement from the parents, and then they go on to also denigrate the parents as well as dox them. So good job, parents! You get what you fucking deserve! Mom's Diana Instagram, which has been made private, I wonder why, proudly shows off her son, including a snap of him in Paris for his 18th birthday in 2024. There's the docs of their house. Who gives a shit? They're disgusting individuals. Dad Alexander is a Cornell alum and patent lawyer, and Diana is a senior product manager for a banking regulators trade association. They told the Post that they found their son's behavior reprehensible and believe he's fallen victim to dark online influences. Why would you talk to journalists? Why are you this fucking stupid? Why, like, even if, right, and they could 100% believe this. This could be 100% what they truly believe, and that would be fine. Why would you talk to a journalist and say this about your son? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's not like your son murdered someone. It's not like he's a rapist. He was just like, oh yeah, I just don't want to work for this guy, man. Dark online influences. It was the Sith. It was the Sith in the Tor browser. We have seen our adult son fall under the influence of extremist online content, and it should go without saying that the rest of our family finds the views he has expressed morally repugnant, and he did not derive them in any way from us, they wrote. We love our son very much, and we're doing everything we can to counter the online influences that have afflicted him. By throwing him out of your house? What are you, fucking retarded? Do you actually have fucking brain damage? Like, what, genuinely, if you were doing everything you could to counter the dark online influence, you would keep him in the house. What are we talking about? We love our son, which is why we have disowned him. Yeah, exactly. Stupid fucking retards, man. Actual insanity. And I think this is a crazy diametric view, right? When you see, like, more religious conservative parents, and they end up having, like, a transgender child who's also an adult, right? Like, not like a child, but they're like, oh, our son is, like, 22 and he still lives at home, and now he's decided he's a girl. They do that thing where they're just like, well, I don't really agree with your choices, and, I'm gonna pray for you, and I feel bad for, like, what's happening. You'll always be my son. Those people get posted online as, like, horrible, hateful people who need to be derided and outed and just, like, shamed for how horrible and terrible they are. But they're still being like, I disagree with your choices, but I still love you because you're my child. These parents are like, get that trash out of here! Fuck my kid! Fuck him! Get him out! It's, like, actually insane. Piers Morgan speaks to the Ivy League student who went viral for saying he's not interested in working for Jews. You've doubled down, you're proud of it, and for that reason, I don't give a toss what happens to you.
I've had enough experiences that were displeasing that I didn't want to be around them. It's just a preference, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you had a problem with Asian people or midgets, right? Like,
midgets!
Let's say you're around 10 midgets, right? And all of them are really mean to you. They step on your feet. Right? You're going to say, okay, I don't want to be around you anymore. And if your boss is somehow a midget, you're going to say, listen, I don't want to work for you because you're a midget. It might not be a nice thing to say, but is it really worth losing our marbles over this, like the Jewish community did within America? Saying we're going to make this kid unemployable. Let's ruin his life. Let's kick him out of Cornell. I mean, it's really ridiculous.
Actually, if you don't mind me saying, what you've just said is more ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, what on earth is...
How is that more ridiculous? He's pointing out, like, a freedom of association argument. Like, why would you force someone to be in a situation where they were uncomfortable because they have personally experienced a pattern of a specific type of person causing harm to them? What are we doing here?
It's got to do with, as you put it, midgets. I just find it incredible.
What do you mean, what is this got to do with midgets? Are you unable to perceive breakfast unless it's cooked by Indians?
It'd be depressing that a young man, given the privilege that you've had to go to a top university, could be this thick, or worse, not...
I think he kind of just said the quiet part out loud there.
With, as you put it, midgets. I just find it incredibly depressing that a young man, given the privilege that you've had to go to a top university...
The top university was supposed to indoctrinate you. You were supposed to become another good little foot soldier swallowing our slogans. How dare you have independent thought? How dare you?
Could be this thick, or worse, not care.
Sometimes you're supposed to keep things to yourself. Yeah, I think this is, like, probably the big issue with a lot of people, right? It's like I had to deal with similar mindseted people where they were just like, Kirsche won't say certain things on stream. That means she's actually a grifter and not based. Kirsche won't say the N-word on stream and destroy her entire career and become unpersonable. It's like some things you have to tippy-toe around. There is something to be said for being able to hide a power level, for being able to suppress your mana. And some people need to learn that. Do we think that some things should be able to be said out loud? Sure, why not? But we don't live in that reality. And you, as an individual, like, random Joe guy, your butterfly wings do not have that powerful of a flap. You will need something in a larger position to be able to create that butterfly wing flap. These people are so fucking retarded, it's kind of infuriating. Yeah. It's like the thing this kid did the most wrong is saying that. Because now he has to defend the fact that he's been, like, wronged by specific people, and now he has, like, a poor view of specific people. I've said this before. When I was a child, I was horrendously racist to Puerto Ricans. I lived around Puerto Ricans, and I saw them all doing horrendous things. They were all thieves. They were prostitutes. They were stabbing each other. They were shooting each other. I saw that cat get beat to death. So as a child, I was like, damn, Puerto Ricans are fucked up. As I got older, I realized, no, that's not true. It's not all of them. It was just the ones I happened to live around. And it's similar to, like, the scumbags my mom hung around with of all the different races. It wasn't their race that made them that way. It was just the environment, and they were terrible people. And there's other people who aren't terrible. As more people say it out loud, others will feel emboldened to also say it. I think it should not be an issue to be like, I've had a personal experience, and so like I'm now wary, right? Do I think that it should be applied to literally everyone of that group? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro said over 10 years ago to shut up and finish your education and secure your job opportunity until you're secure in life to speak out. Yeah, people like Asmongold, people like J.K. Rowling, they're above cancel culture. Like, they can survive it. Why did the company release what he said in the first place? Because they got offended and they decided this is a reason to destroy this kid's life. You know? Instead of being like, it's kind of unfortunate you feel that way. Hopefully you can have some better experiences in the future. They were just like, no, this kid needs to be completely fucking destroyed. Funny thing is, if an Indian woman said this about a white man, peers would be cheering for her. Yeah, I made that comparison earlier. Like, there are absolutely people who would be like, I don't want to have a white man as boss. In fact, a white man shouldn't even be a boss. That's white supremacy. The Jewish company got offended that someone didn't want to work with the Jewish company, so they decided to ruin him. It's so very silly. It's so very silly. But it's just like, it's also silly that, like, he could have avoided all of this by just being like, yeah, no, stop messaging me, man. You know? For some reason, someone saying they're irrationally afraid of dogs because they were mauled once is okay. You know? Make an example of him. Every power structure on Earth. And what is happening to this man is why there are so many people no longer taking the phrase anti-Semitism seriously. There's so many people who are like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. That is what people are saying. Because they see this, and they're just like, how are you going to say this is anti-Semitic when you are doing the thing of ruining this kid's life for just saying, I don't want to work for you, man? Like, this is not a good look. The irony is that the global cabal is an evil right-wing conspiracy. This kid happens and the cabal instantly mobilizes. Make it make sense. It's not even like a cabal. It's like literally everyone. Literally everyone was like, you can't do that. And it's just like, look at the fucking left, man. They're out here literally calling Jewish people Nazis. And you want to attack this guy who is just like, yeah, I don't want to work for you. It's insane. What is happening? Internet Zen Master, thank you. 1, courtesy is a dead art. Kid needs to hide his power level. 2, the stupidity of people deciding to destroy him is going to make things worse. It's very similar to like the Shiloh situation, in my opinion, right? Like, should you call a child the N-word? Probably not. But also, if that child is stealing from you, and also people are raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for a black guy that killed a white dude in cold blood, yeah, I'm not really gonna care about a white woman saying a word. And in fact, after how much you try to ruin her life, I'm going to not only care even less, but people should start saying it even more often. Right? Like, it shouldn't be dragging a woman through the court system to humiliate her for saying a fucking word. That doesn't bring anyone to your side, that doesn't give you credence, that makes you look like a petulant child. That makes you look like a retard. That makes people say, I don't give a fuck what you think. Why are you doing this to this woman? Even Hawkenfreres, thank you. The reaction has also merely reinforced his negative opinion by piling even more attacks on him. They've essentially taken a guy who is just like, yeah, I've had some bad experiences, so I don't really want to work at a Jewish company, man. Sorry about that. And they've basically ensured that he's going to become a Giga Hitler. They have basically solidified that timeline. There is no other direction for this guy to go in now. Jesus fucking Christ. Piers is also dogpiling too, not helping. Obviously. I would, if Piers Morgan asked me for an interview, I'd be like, absolutely fucking not. This is a trap, dude. Franco, who spoke with the Post on Thursday, rejected his parents' explanation, insisting his views came from real-life experience and not the internet. I can't peer inside their minds and they can't peer inside mine. But it's not a result of just being online. I've had in-person experiences as well. All the internet is essentially an extension of prior means of communication, what used to be the printing press. And like, I even said this for that fucking Niji Sanji fuck I keep forgetting the name of. The one who is like ridiculously racist towards white people. It's like, I could even understand if he lived in a heavily white area and he experienced like really bad behavior from the white people that he lived around. And he had a similar experience to me in the area that I grew up in with my mother and the Puerto Ricans that lived around us, right? I would completely understand if he had gotten his opinion from that kind of experience. But part of getting older is understanding Not everyone is like those that you lived around. It's like if my parents were like, oh boy, he's always reading the newspaper. He's getting all these terrible ideas from the newspaper. When you say that, it sounds completely ridiculous, right? When asked how he felt about his eviction, he replied, I'm not sure if I have a good answer for that. He said he'll be moving to an apartment near Cornell in upstate Ithaca. Well, I mean, at least he has a place to go. Since delivering the anti-Semitic message to Full ID's Jewish co-founders, Gabe and Aiden Ihorn, via job board site Handshake in June, Franco has fully embraced a hate-filled public identity. What the fuck else is he supposed to do at this point? Like, if he groveled and apologized and even tried to like go further than that, nobody would accept it. And they would just be like, oh yeah, we have the power to just completely destroy people. What the fuck is he supposed to do? How dare he adapt? Anti-Semitism has not only become mainstream, it's becoming something to be proud of for some, said Dr. Carol Lieberman, a psychiatrist who wrote 2 books on terrorism. People like Austin Franco see themselves as martyrs for the cause. I very much think you are looking at the incorrect people. It's not people like Austin Franco that's going to be rounding people up if our demographics are to be believed with statistics here. Franco maintained that he's been acting within his freedoms with no regrets. People may say things that are unkind, but they have the right to say it, he said. It would be illegal for an employer to say, I'm not going to hire you because you're white. It would not be illegal for an employee to say, I'm not going to work for you because you're white. He brings up a very good point. Franco appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored on Tuesday, where the veteran journalist slammed the student as thick and arrogant in a heated lockdown. I mean, that's fine. He can think that, right? You can call this guy hateful. You can call him thick. You can call him arrogant. But ruining his life over it is way too fucking far. That indicated to me that he realized I was making him look bad, Franco said. Cornell President Michael Kotlikoff condemned Franco's statements, but confirmed that he is still enrolled. As a university built on the solid foundations of our nation's democratic freedoms, Cornell has an obligation to fiercely defend freedom of speech, even when we find that speech abhorrent. Actually crazy that the Cornell president understands freedom of speech better than everyone attacking this kid and this kid's own parents. This is exactly how you defend things that you completely disagree with. You might not like that someone says it, but they still have the right to say it. And based of the college for not getting rid of him because of freedom of speech. Not gonna lie, you didn't expect that. I would not have expected that from a university president. Not in a wildest dream. So it's insane that this university guy is like, yeah, I'm actually gonna stand on fucking freedom of speech principle. It's insane. Nobody else did. Cornell president probably fears a lawsuit more than the donors getting pissed. Franco, who said he'd like to go into politics post-grad. Oh no. Oh no, chat. Oh no, chat. I hope he doesn't start painting in his free time, but doesn't associate with a particular party, isn't worried about returning to campus. If you don't want to talk with me or engage with me, you're totally welcome and within your rights to do that. Just as I have the freedom to associate with who I want to with respect to work. And this is exactly that. It's like when it comes to my content, it's fine. You might not like the jokes I make. You might not like the politics that I have. You might not like the way that I say things. That's fine. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to engage with me. You can block me on Twitch. You can block me on Twitter. You can completely erase me from your timeline. You don't have to interact with me if you don't like the things I say. But then to escalate that to, I don't like the things you say, and so I must harm you financially. I must unperson you. I must get rid of you. That is ridiculous and that is ludicrous. Most universities are anti-Israel, so they're probably quietly supporting him. Jesus Christ. What a horrific thing to think about, man. Unfortunately, until we get rid of the Civil Rights Act, we don't have true freedom of association. Yeah, it only goes in one way. This guy's going to become Franco Part 2. They actively want these people to become martyrs and promote it. They need people like him to point to proof of anti-Semitic discrimination. It's also conceding that you can't refute Kirsche's stances. I mean, even if people wanted to try to refute my stances, it's fine if they don't want to engage, right? I don't want to force anyone like into a conversation. If they don't like it, they don't have to be here, you know? I don't like what Kirsche says. She pronounces everything wrong. True.